Luke chapter 21 and verse 9, and when you hear of wars and insurrections, disturbances, disorder, and confusion, do not become alarmed and panic-stricken and terrified. For all this must take place first, but the end will not come immediately. Shalom Yasharallah, which means peace, Israel. I'd like to start off by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, Yahweh. Thou be the true and powerful mighty name of who the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh, or Ahia. Bahashem means in the name. Yahweh Shai, that's the true and powerful mighty name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yeshua, or Yeshaya. And the Rachakodash is the Holy Spirit, according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who I've learned the truth of the Bible from. And peace, blessing, safety, and salutation to the hopeful elect, and to you believers and listeners out there that came back into the faith and obedience of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Much love and respect unto you brothers, pushing this gospel in sincerity and truth, risking your lives and freedom. Now more so than ever, may Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai continue to bless you and your households. I'm the brother Barak Yuam, coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing is edifying to the Lord's elect. And more rumors of wars, man. Okay, came across this article, and it's titled, Trump warns next war could start pretty soon. Okay, just got out that, you had that Venezuela conflict not too long ago. He just started the goddamn Iran war last weekend. And then now this. So let's go into it, man. President Donald Trump warned that another conflict could start soon as the United States continue military operations related to the growing war with Iran. Trump has made this statement during a conversation with CNN's Dana Bash. He talked about the ongoing Middle East, which is not Middle East, okay, as the Elder Malcolm will say, is Western Asia, and suggested that more military action could happen in the near future. The next new war is going to be very soon, Trump said while discussing developments related to the Iran crisis. We don't know if this is not true or not. Okay. Shoot, they can call a goddamn ceasefire if they wanted to, but we know 1 Thessalonians 5 and 7, they call peace and safety, the sudden destruction coming. So it's just something that we got to, keep our eyes peeled on. Got to be circumspect, have your head on the spiritual swivel. Okay. His comments come as U.S. forces remain involved in an escalating fight with Iran. American and allied operations have targeted Iranian military bases and missile strikes to weaken Tehran's military presence in the region. Trump's remark implied that the administration may already be considering conflicts beyond the current one. He also brought up Cuba, calling the communist-controlled country unstable and predicting political change there soon. So, Cuba can, possibly get strike because they want to set up a regime change. Okay. Cuba is going to fall pretty soon, Trump said, mentioning that the country wants to make a deal. The president attributed worsening conditions on the island to U.S. economic pressure, which has led to fuel shortages and financial strain due to Venezuela decreased support for Havana. Trump also noted his intention to send Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a Cuban American and a longtime critic of the Cuban government, to lead negotiations if possible. Okay, so this man Trump is on the warpath. Trump suggested that the administration's main focus remains the war with Iran. Speaking at a White House event earlier this week, he told supporters that the United States wants to finish this one first, referring to the conflict in Iran before looking at other issues. The Iran conflict has escalated in recent weeks. with U.S. military actions, including strikes on Iranian missile sites, naval assets, and military infrastructure. Pentagon officials state that the campaign aims to weaken Iran's ability to launch missiles. Iran has responded with missile and drone strikes across the region, targeting U.S. allies and American military positions. Several U.S. service members have died in retaliatory strikes tied to the fighting, and Trump said that there will likely be more. Man, okay. Let's go get a couple of quick scriptures real quick. Matthew 24:6. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not frightened or troubled, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. Okay, and right now, what Trump's talking about with the Cuba thing and all these other things he got is just a rumor. Okay, it's not concrete. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in place after place in diverse places. Okay, but yeah, these nations are starting to rise up and come against each other, man, because they tired of America and Israel and everything that they're doing. Let's go here. Go to the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 16. And I'm going to start at 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay, and that's the prophet Ezra, pretty much like that. He's seen the vision of what's going to happen, and he's like that. He's seen how bad it's going to get. He's saying, man, how am I going to get through it? Okay, and that's where faith comes in. And Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Okay, let's go back here real quick. The conflict has raised global concerns about the risk of a larger regional war. Yeah, everything is being set up, man, for the Valley of Jehoshaphat, man. The Valley of the Lord's judgment. Okay. Military analysts warn that direct confrontation between the United States and Iran could draw other countries into the conflict, which is true. Okay. That, ties into the nations hating the whore and the nations being angry. Okay. Because they really like, what are you doing this for? But we understand that this is the will of the Lord. So Trump has adopted a strong stance when discussing the situation. In earlier comments, he warned Iran of harsh consequences if it continued to attack U.S. interests or allied forces in the area. Despite his tough talk, administration officials have tried to clarify that current military goals remain limited. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stated that the United States mission is not going beyond disabling Iran's missile systems and military facilities. However, Trump's comments about a potential new conflict have attracted attention, as they suggest the administration may be considering other geopolitical issues. And that's one of the reasons, because these other nations are like, man, think about it, on the playground, you got a bully that's going around bullying each other. Eventually, some of the weaker kids are going to band together and they're going to get together and take the bully down. And that's what's going to happen with these nations, man. America and Israel being the bully. Foreign policy experts note that Trump has frequently pointed at Cuba as a place where political change could happen soon. His statements also come as Cuba continues to face severe economic struggles, widespread power outages, and shortages of food and fuel. They're going through a famine over there and blackouts. Okay. their economy is pretty much done, which is a prelude to what's going to happen here. For now, the White House maintains that its focus is on the war with Iran and stabilizing the situation in the Middle East. It remains unclear whether it will turn into a long war of attrition, which will destabilize the global economy, which 9 times out of 10 is going to do. Okay, that way they can, if the global economy is shattered, then they can come in with the solution, which would be the MOTB. Let's get a couple more scriptures and I'm going to close out. Revelation 11, verse 18. And the heathen nations raged, are angry, but your wrath, retribution, indignation came. The time when the dead will be judged, and your servants, the prophets and saints, rewarded, and those who fear your name, bow both low and high, and small and great, in the time for destroying the corrupters of the earth. And that's why all this is happening, because we're in that time where Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is finna, destroy the corruptors of the earth, being Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, and these heathen nations, they're angry, they're raging because of what you're going and doing across the earth. Like I said, they're going to band together and they're going to bring you down. Okay, 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the sign which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and the end is manifest. Right. Okay? Because this the will of the Lord. And this war in Iran is causing uproars of the people, man. So, yeah, even though it's just in the beginning, we're at the beginning of the end, man. So I pray and hope that this lesson was edifying. We'll go ahead and end it there. The end is manifest. Giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, peace, blessing, safety, and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom.